Hello, welcome to Spirit Scribes. Today we are going to do a Celtic cross, looking at the new map that the beautiful Eclipse has laid out for us. It's a new quest that we're on. Do you know what the new quest is? It's a beautiful new quest of beauty, right? So expect it, be it, amplify it, magnify it. You be the beauty in your world. See the beauty, feel the beauty, know the beauty, walk the beauty path. It's a beautiful path to walk. All right, let's get into it. What are we looking at? We're looking at the Celtic cross and the cards behind me, and I'll be changing the picture. Um, the cards behind me are the cards that came out in the reading. I did do this reading before the eclipse. I was able to work with it this week and dig into it and bring it to you now, right? And I'm so glad that I've been doing a series of the light of the eclipse energy because it was actually this reading that guided me and inspired me to do several videos showing the light of the eclipse because there was just so much darkness and so much fear around the eclipse that I felt that once I saw what was coming out of my oracle sessions that I was called to actually bring the light to the conversation um, and put my light into the mixture of energy that was swirling around the event. So I'm so glad we're on the other side of it. I'm so glad that we are all here. I'm so glad that we had a one or two things happen, but we were all good and we made it out and up and expanded out, right? And we saw the light and we saw the black sun. Isn't that beautiful? Wasn't that beautiful to see the moon and the sun coming together, right? And actually to see a black sun, right? So here we are. Here we are. And what does the Celtic cross actually show us, right? So this, and I'm also using the Tree of Life. It's a new deck that I got, and I decided to use it to see what this beautiful eclipse and sacred, this sacred ceremony, celestial ceremony that were going to experience, what it really was going to bring to us. What was that new path coming, And I used the Tree of Life deck, right? Uses the Kabbalah system. I just started studying the Kabbalah system a little bit last year, not too deep, but just got into it when I was doing the gene keys and the angel codes, and because the angels go with the Kabbalah. So when I was pulling out those angel codes and prayers with the gene keys, they were coming from the Tree of Life and the Kabbalah system. All right. So now I'm looking at it again this year from an Oracle deck perspective. All right. Well, so I get to dig into it my way. All right. So, what is the Celtic cross showing us with this beautiful eclipse that we experienced this week? No need to fear it, right? Make a note of those who wanted you to fear it. All right. That's all I'm saying. Observe. Observe where the fear was coming from and observe where the light was coming from. Stick to the light, guys. Stick to the light. All right. Move towards the light. I should say, move towards the light. So, this Celtic cross is going to show us what's the new quest, right? That's the first thing. Then we're going to look at what are the forces around this new quest. So, what's really encouraging this new quest to come in, right? Or to be. And as we walk this new quest or walk this new path, what are the forces that are going to be by our side that are really going to help to boost our quest, right? And then we're going to look at what may happen, as we enter a new path, as we go on a new journey. There are always possibilities of what may happen, right? And it's always what may happen. And there's always a potential, right? The potential, because remember, you are the alchemist, right? So there are always going to be potentials and paths and choices for you to make because when you apply your energy to it, there's going to be a different outcome. And that's why many of us can be at the same place but have completely different experiences, see completely different things, and take from something completely different than what somebody right next to you, who's sitting right next to you, might be experiencing the same thing, but they're not having the same experience, right? Because it's you that matters, right? Okay, so we're also going to look at what is all of this resting on, right? Again, when I think of what's it going to rest on, what's really supporting this, What gives this new mission, this new journey, this new quest some support, all right? Not just the forces around it, but what's supporting it underneath it, right? And what can it rest on, right? And then we're going to also look at what is likely to happen, right? Because again, what may happen and what is likely to happen, right? So we have close potentials and then we have some far-fetched potentials, right? But all of it is possible, right? There is nothing that is impossible because I am possible, right? And all things are possible through us, right? Especially the collective body of all, right? So, and then we're going to look at how I see it and how others might see it, right? And we could take a broader perspective from that and look at it at the duality within it, right? Or the different views or the different parts, right? Whether it's cohesive or dualistic, right? There might be some duality within it, might be some cohesiveness in it, right? But just looking at, how do I see it? How do they see it? Right? And then we are also going to look at the hopes and the fears, because every journey, every quest is going to be filled with hopes and fears, right? Ups and downs, right? And then the final outcome. So where does this eclipse bring us to? And again, the eclipse has already happened, right? So what are we feeling inside, and what's the vision really forming from within us, right? We're working from within, manifesting outside. So this has already happened. We're in the eclipse energy. The spark of it has already happened. And then now what? It happened, and then we woke up the next day and it was like, okay, now what? What's next? Right? So here we are now, right? What do we do? Where are we? And what do we do with all this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful potentiality and energy that we have been blessed with through the sacred celestial eclipse, the joining of the moon and the sun? All right. So the eclipse came in right on 4-8, beautiful, beautiful numbers, 4 foundation and 8 harmony, right? It came in and it brought in a new quest. And that new quest is a quest of beauty. Isn't that beautiful? And the quest of beauty asks us, what brings me joy? What brings me balance? What makes me happy? What inspires me, right? And also, I'm thinking it says sacrifice there. And I'm getting from that, looking at the sacrifices we've made up to this point and how those sacrifices paid off. And also, since it's a quest of beauty, I'm going to say, yes, they have, right? So really being confident, because we're talking about the sun here and the soul, right? The Tiphareth is the 6th number on the tree of life, or the 6th energy center in the tree of life. And it's the center, it's the soul of your own tree of life, right? So your center, what brings you balance, what inspires you from within, the sun, right? It symbolizes the sun. So what inspires you, what brings you joy, right? What brings you balance? And again, looking at the sacrifices that we've made and knowing, yeah, those were worth it. Because again, solar plexus energy, confidence, and knowing our worth, and our value, right? And also because it's a new path, of course, we're going to have to, and we're creating more beauty, more joy, more balance in our life. We're also going to have to ask ourselves, what are my new sacrifices? What do I do now in order to bring more balance? What can I sacrifice now to bring more balance? And I was doing breathing exercises, and I do, and I listen to a lot of different things. So sometimes I get, and then when I'm telling the story, I can't remember, is this an original idea or did I hear it or whatnot? But I made some notes while I was, exploring all of these cards, and I've been doing this all week. I've been looking at this spread all week. And one of the things that did come into me, and I do apologize if I got this from somebody else, but I was breathing, and I realized that as I released the air, my body was rising up, right? As we breathe in, we expand. So again, breathe in. And I don't know if you can see my belly expanding out, and then I could breathe out. But as I'm breathing out, I'm rising up, right? So as we breathe in, we're receiving, right? And in that receiving, we are expanding, right? But as we breathe out, we are releasing, but in that release, we are rising up, right? So there's no loss there, right? We can really come into this new, comfortable, expanded space of beauty, knowing that, hey, as I receive, I'm going to expand. And as I release, just as when I breathe, when I release, I'm going to rise up. So there's no loss there. And if there is some type of loss, the loss is not really a loss because I've gained so much in what I think I've lost. Deepen, right? So that's something very, very important for us to remember, right? In this new path of beauty, of balance, of joy, of sacrifice. How am I creating more and more beauty and joy in my life and balance? That's the most important thing. Balance in my life every single day. And again, as the eclipse came through, it opened up this path. It's a potential. So we now have to take ownership of this new potential, right? We have to own the moment, all right? Making some notes. I'm just going to looking more into the card itself and just some of the beautiful symbolism from this card. And again, the 6 is Taparath, right? Or Tiphareth, and it is the sun, right? So everything that the sun is, right? Being again at the center of our body. And with the tree of life, it's at the center of us. It's our soul energy. Again, what brings us joy? Asking ourselves, what is your soul expression, right? And what does the soul really mean to you, right? It encourages us to remember to remain light, right? It's also encouraging us to see the divine in every single moment. And again, to make those necessary sacrifices that we need to make in order to continue to bring joy and balance in our lives along this new path of beauty, right? When I was doing this in a week and a couple of days before I started doing this, actually with the 4-4 portal, what really, really came in to me was this again, this the elements, right? And tapping into the elements and grounding or whatnot. And Spirit reminded me that, what's the point of doing all of it if we're not doing it with the spirit of gratitude, right? And they say the fifth element is the ether or is spirit. And again, but it's what spirit, and being in a spirit of gratitude, I think, makes the big difference. So again, this path of this new quest, the new question or the new quest that the eclipse is opening up and remember not remember, but there's with the astrology behind the eclipse, as well as just with this month of April, there's a lot of Chiron energy. And in Egyptian shamanic astrology, Chiron is actually referred to as Anubis, but Anubis is referred to as the opener of ways, right? So with this eclipse energy, we are getting a lot of Chiron energy, the wounded healer, or Anubis, the opener of ways, right? So it's opening a way of beauty, right? And we, again, we have to ask ourselves, how do I bring more beauty into my life? What do I need to sacrifice? What soul expression am I not allowing that I can now allow? What inspires me? What brings me joy? And what brings me into peace and wholeness and balance? And if we look at the cards, you can see the inner child there. He's riding the horse. The sunflowers are there. The phoenix is rising to the sun, right? The lion is there for the courage, right? So we have play and courage and beauty, right? And strength, all of that, right? And the rising up. We see the phoenix rising up there to the sun, right? So we elevate, we rise up, we have some freedom, some joy, some play. We are doing it as strong-willed, courageous people, So there's some strength there. So it's not just a frivolous beauty, it's royal strength, beauty, courage, openness, freedom, health, illumination. Ooh. And that's the big boat. I hope it doesn't. I hope you can hear it. All right. So, right. I think that, yeah, and the horse is also about nobleness, right? Just looking at some of my notes, the phoenix, transformation. And fire always rising to the top, right? And that's the thing with fire too. I think also because we are in this, again, the 8th year of harmony, and again, the 6 of beauty. So going from that fire that burns things down, I always say, to the fire that calls people to come around the fire in oneness, right? The kumbaya, or do circles around the fire in shamanism, you know what I mean? So the fire that brings people together, doesn't burn things down. So that's inclusive of being in harmony, being in harmony. I really hope you guys can hear me and not that boat engine. But I'm just going to go with it. I am just going to go with it. I don't know if my sound is so good that you can hear that, but that is pretty loud. So I'm just hoping that you don't. Or if you do that, it stops pretty quickly. I've been trying to get this out all day. It's so ironic. At the moment I started taping, the boat engine started, but that's a sign. That means it's time to go. Time to get things moving, right? That's the boat engine. All right, always gotta alchemize things, right? Okay, so where are we going next? So after we're starting with the beauty, we're on the path of beauty, right? So we have to be transformed. We have to rise up. We have to be strong. We have to be courageous. We have to allow humor and play, So, right? And the sun energy is all about our will and beauty, right? Beautifying the day, beautifying the atmosphere, beautifying the environment, right? The sun is a sign of beauty and light, and remembering to be light, right? to bring a lighter energy to things, right? Not having to take everything so seriously, as well as you be the light. You be the one that lightens the mood, that brings the joy, that brings in the balance into this harmony, right? All right, so let's keep on going. And then the sunflowers, right? Those sunflowers always remind me of the Sagittarius energy too, of travel and exploration. So again, we're on a new path. The eclipse has opened up a way, right? Through with the whole Chiron energy coming in, the eclipse has opened up a way, and the new way is the way of beauty. All right. So, what's surrounding that, right? What is surrounding this beautiful quest, this new quest of beauty? And what's surrounding it are the mirrors. What's surrounding it is the lover's path. It's called path number 17. And I'm going to see if I can change this background. Mm. All right. So now this is the 17th path, and it's the path of the lovers. So let's get into this. And this is about the forces around it. So what is not supporting, but what is gathering around this quest of beauty, this new path of beauty that we're I was taping and hold on, I thought I added it. Okay. All right. So we are on a new quest. The eclipse has brought us to a new quest that we can all be a part of. And it's the quest of beauty, right? We're all asking, what brings more joy into my life? What brings more balance into my life, right? And what do we have around this new quest? It's the lover's path, right? And the lover's path is all about that Aquarius energy. Isn't that beautiful? And again, we're stepping now into the age of Aquarius. I'm going to try something. I'm not sure if you guys can hear the boat, but I'm going to close my back door. So just in case you can hear the boat, you won't hear so much of it. All right. I had it open to let in the light, but let's just see. And you can look at the card in the meantime. Okay. All right. So they stopped and I closed everything. So I don't say, but they may start again. So, all right. And I don't know if you guys could have heard that noise or not, but I could. And it was a little distracting. So let's get back into it. All right. So we are looking at the forces around this new quest of beauty. This beautiful new quest of beauty. All right. And it takes us to the 17th path, the path of lovers, right? And what is that about? It's about humor. It's about choices. And of course, it's about our intelligence, right? Um, they say that the 17th path is the path between understanding and beauty, right? Which is Tippereth, right? So we want so the tree of life has the energy centers. Is this a good one? This might be better. So the tree of life has the energy centers, 1, 2, 3. There's one here, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, right? And then it has the paths, right? So this is Tippereth here. And then it's saying the 17th path is the path between understanding, which is here, I believe, and Tippereth, right? So it will be this path right here, right? So between understanding and beauty, we got to go through some stuff. And it's usually called the lover's path, right? And it makes sense, you know, we have more understanding as we go through our different relationships and especially our love relationships, right? So going through these relationships bring us to more understanding, which allow us to create more beauty in our lives, whether that is understanding ourselves, understanding what to do, what not to do, or understanding other people, understanding how other people react, respond, how we react to other people's reactions, response, understanding other people's triggers, understanding other people's capacity, understanding your capacity to other people's triggers and capacity. All of it, right? Really, all of it, right? So as we go through this, as we go through our relationships, and I love relationships and looking back at the choices that we've made and allowing ourselves to laugh at ourselves, laugh at life, laugh at each other. Again, bringing in that lightness of Tippereth, that beauty, you know. So as we're able to laugh more, be light, understand ourselves, it's also our intelligence, and that brings us to the first one on our list of ownership, right? Owning our intelligence, owning who we are. And intelligence isn't just about what you know. Intelligence is about what you know and then knowing what to do with it. It's about being resourceful, right? So owning your journey, owning what you know, right? Owning what you like, what you don't like. Again, this whole energy and my theme for this year of ownership, right? Owning the resource of your experience and knowing, hey, this is me, right? And again, being able to make those choices that are in alignment for yourself, as well as choices that are in alignment for your relationships, choices that are in alignment for your community and your homes, you know, because we are being harmonious. We're bringing more and more beauty into the realm. So we're not just going to just make choices for ourselves. We're going to make choices that impact us, but also bring in more harmony and cohesiveness and love into the path of beauty, right? Okay, so going more into, again, the symbolism of it as well. Um, and this is the Gemini. Oh, I said it was Aquarius, Age of Aquarius. Sorry, it's actually the Gemini card, but Aquarius comes in. Aquarius, I'm just a little ahead of myself. Aquarius comes in. This is the Gemini card. And I kind of like really, really like this card, right? I don't know if you can see it, and it's probably better if I do it. Actually, I was doing a little thing here, and if I hold this up and go back, I will disappear. So let's see if it works. Yeah. Right. So if you look at the center, oh my God, I want to say disappeared. If you look at the center, you can almost see a third face in the center, right? It's two separate people, and you can also see that even though they're together, they've come together, they're not really bearing similar symbols, right? They have the whales at the bottom. And I think other than that, all of the symbolism is different between the two of them, but they come together so perfectly. And I think that's the biggest picture there is that they are fitting together perfectly, but they are actually two opposites, right? And I think the old way was that we needed everything to be alike. And in this new age, in this opening of a way and bringing in more beauty into the realm, we have to be able to integrate. We have to be able to have a sense of humor and allow each other's choices, as well as rest on our own intelligence, right? And be confident within our own intelligence, right? Um, because again, understanding, it's on the path of understanding, and understanding is such a big center, we know thyself, but also understanding, having that capacity to really understand where somebody else is coming from, even if you don't agree with it. Just accepting, hey, okay, I understand the words that you are saying, and I understand where you are and why you're feeling how you're feeling, and that's you. Right? Sometimes that's just what it is. You don't have to agree with it. You don't have to like it, but just in that moment, just give that person that understanding of where they're at. And you might not even have to be there at all. Right? But you can understand where they are, if nothing else. Sometimes in a moment, that's all I have to give to people is, okay, I understand where you are, and we can leave it just like that. Right? And it's okay. It's okay. All right. So, right. So loving, right? And between understanding, using love and what we've learned in love, our intelligence, right? Our applied wisdom, our resourcefulness, using all of that, our intelligence, our choices, looking at our past choices and deciding what to move forward with, what not to move forward with, respecting other people's choices, and a sense of humor, using all of those things. And all of those things come with this path of beauty that we are now upon. All right. And using all of those things to create more beauty, more balance, and more joy in your life, right? I think that's where we really go. And then the Gemini stuff, right? So this is the Gemini card. And the Gemini energy, what I've learned and loved about this card and this deck is what it did with the Gemini energy. We usually say, oh, it's twins, but this deck shows that the Gemini energy is coming together of your soul and your spirit. I was like, whoa, that's a whole different union, right? That's a whole different union. Coming together, you putting together your soul and your spirit. That is the perfect union. The masculine, the feminine. I get the masculine and feminine, the inner masculine and feminine. Excuse me. But just to go a little deeper with it, putting together your soul, which would represent the masculine, and the spirit, which would represent the feminine entity, right? And that really being the perfect union within yourself, right? I just thought that was beautiful, right? And so if we start there, because remember, this is on the path of beauty and creating more beauty and opening up more beauty for all of us, because that's what the eclipse did. This is where we are now. We don't have to wait for this to come. We just have to claim it and activate it within our own lives and within our own path. So if we allow that loving self to emerge and understand that this is the power of now, right? This is the power that you have when your soul and your spirit merges. And what did I say at the beginning? It was the eclipse was the merge of the moon and the sun. Two things coming into one. The soul, which was the sun, and the spirit, which was the moon. So this card within itself is replicating as above, so below. As above, what was coming to us was we were able to see the sun and the moon merge together as one. As below, we come into perfect union within ourselves, and that helps to create and support and surrounds this path of beauty, well, from inside, right? From within, that beauty within. So that helps to create, and this beauty path, beauty quest emerges outside of us. So do we get it? I hope you're getting it. All right. So this was the second card, right? And just going again, just going into the symbology of it, heart, hearts linked and independent, where one lacks, the other provides perfect symmetry. So we can look at that in just our lives, our relationships, or on the whole collective body of humanity, right? What I lack, my neighbor might have. What I lack, another community, or what my community lacks, another community might be able to fill in. You know, we all, again, we don't all have to be doing the same thing the same way all the time, right? Diversity, harmony amongst diversity. I'm a very big cheerleader of that, right? Allowing people to be independent and then finding that harmony amongst many different things, right? Symmetry, the symmetry of love and relationships and partners. So our relationships are going to be a big part of this beauty way, this path of beauty, right? And again, looking back and reflecting at old relationships and where are you now? And not being afraid to just carve that out. Who am I now? This is why I went through it. This is who I loved and who I served. This is who has served and loved me. You know, if we can just look at it that way, we can just move on with a lot of wisdom, as well as a lot of gratitude, love, and appreciation, right? For what was, as well as what has now emerged from that. What is the new thing? And the new thing might be you, right? So, you know, be in gratitude and appreciation of all that was, but ground that in now, ground that gratitude in right now, right? For your big new beauty quest, right? What do you want? All the things that are possible. Are you happy being your own, or are you happier being your own double half or your own other half? So this card is also asking you, you know, really again, stand in your power and realize what do you want, what do you don't want, or are you just happy being by yourself and being your own best other half? There's nothing wrong with that at all, right? So we all have choices and decisions and everything, right? It talks about the whales in this card, right? So the whales are a symbol of mammals that are seaborne, moving with grace through a foreign home. Something that is not your natural world does feel different, but being able to shine in that world. So that's the beautiful thing of the whale. So not necessarily being in your own habitat and just feeling comfortable, but being in a foreign world, but being able to just be peaceful in as you move through something that is not exactly your home, you know. So that's a beautiful metaphor and image to put there too with this new path that we're on, right? um with the Gemini symbolism, it's talking about ideas and communication and talking. Yes, those conversations. We got to have those conversations that are difficult to have because it just puts it out there. And it allows us, sometimes it's all in our brain and we're talking to ourselves about it and to our friends about it, but we're not really having the conversations that we need to have with the people we need to have. And we just got to have those conversations because once you have it, it's out there. And then you have to move on from there. Once it's in your head, it's just spinning, creating more chaos. Once you let it out and you just start to have that conversation as well, it births something new because it was like, okay, before the conversation, this is what I thought. And now that I had this conversation, this is the reality. And you just got to be ready to take that reality, right? So let's have those heartfelt and harmonious conversations that really get us to where we're really trying to get to, right? Beyond and not being stuck in the same place. And let's move on to the third card. I think the Lover's Path we kind of got. All right. So the third card now is showing us what may happen. So we're on this quest of beauty. We got this beautiful love energy just saying, yeah, right. Tap into the love, tap into the love, right? Tap into the love. I'm trying to disappear again. Tap into the love, tap into the love, right? And then we have this third card popping up, which is what may happen. There it is. What may happen, what may happen is the element of air, right? Let's change this. The element of air. And this again is going to support all of this love and beauty, right? Is air, because what does air help us to do? Expand. Air helps us to breathe. Air helps us to fly. Air helps us to talk, to speak, to communicate, hello, right? So air is about communication, right? And having a clear mind and clarity, right? Our thoughts and what we are speaking and how we are thinking, right? So we have the green and the blue, right? A lot of color energy with this deck too, right? So, oh, Jesus, I always forget. I always forget that I have to, oh no, I end up having to do this twice, but anyway. End up having to select it twice. Hopefully the right one comes up. Okay, I think I changed the card, even though I like the one that was there before. It took a lot of pictures. All right. Okay, add. Add. Oh, so you know what? Because I keep on doing it twice. That's why. All right. So air, right? The element of air. So what may happen? The element of air. You might have clearer minds, better communication. Oh my goodness, how scary. Right? This is what they didn't want you to welcome on in. Isn't this all good stuff? And wasn't this like a good week? Forget about what the cards are saying, like the life that you live in. Wasn't this a really nice week? I hope it was. I really hope it was. Right? So the element of air, thoughts, mind, communication. Ah, yes, right? And the symbolism in the card, right? Communication and words, right? So we're on this path of beauty, this new quest of beauty, bringing more beauty into the world and being more beautiful and seeing more beauty and being light and seeing the divine in everything and just creating more harmony and beauty and joy and balance. And we have the lover's path and everything that we've been through, our relationships and us understanding ourselves and understanding the dynamics of relationships and how they forge us as well as forge other people and how we learn through those things and what we want to bring forth from those loving relationships, right? Whether it's family or friends or intimate relationships, right? It could be on any level, right? But whatever you consider as a loving relationship, because the loving relationships teach us so much, right? And even the unloving, even the unloving relationships, right? But I think in a way we all, even in hindsight and even in at our worst, we still are trying to express some type of love, right? Moving on. But but yeah, we have this beautiful element of air just supporting, taking us further, right? Air helps us to rise up, air helps us to expand out, air helps us to fly and soar. So the element of air, better thoughts, better thinking, better mindset, better communication, beautiful. As I was saying before, why was this so scary? Again, pay attention to whom wants you to fear what, right? So all of this is such good stuff. Such good stuff. We should all be celebrating this beautiful sacred season that we're in now because there's so much good potential there, right? So what may happen? We might have better thoughts and better communication with each other. Isn't that a good thing? Better, again, understanding, right? Because the path is from understanding to beauty. So, of course, we got to tap into better thoughts about each other and ourselves and better ways of communicating about ourselves and about each other, right? And bringing in that air and that lightness to it all, right? Sending a fresh breeze to clear the mind. Just reading some notes from the deck. And also, this card is showing a lot of, as is it, Archangel Raphael energy, which is relaxed independence. Isn't that good? Relaxed independence, right? And relaxed independence. Archangel Raphael is the healing ray. That's why the green is there, right? So there's a lot of healing. And again, the Chiron energy, Anubis, the opener of ways. So again, Archangel Raphael would be, I guess, Roman, I think, right? Whoever made up the, Romans, right? Who did the archangels, right? They came up with the whole archangel system. But again, in Kemet or um, Egyptian shamanic astrology, we would look at it as Chiron, which is the opener of ways, which again could be, it's the sun, but again, you can see that open, that healing energy, saying again, open up for the healing to come on in, right? And that healing is beauty, that healing is love, that healing is nature. I mean, just look at the card. You can almost like feel like if you're outside, just sitting in the grass, tapping into the air, right? And then that light, the yellow, that light just coming in from the sun. So the card is giving you that I'm steeped in nature and I'm breathing in the wind. I'm sitting in the wind and I'm feeling the sun. I'm feeling the tippereth. I'm feeling the beauty and grounded in love, that love of the earth. And I'm feeling abundant, right? That earthiness and safe. And I can feel the wind. I can hear what the wind is saying. I can have a clear mind and a clear thought, as well as having a clear path forward, right? In order to create that path going forward. So this is a beautiful, beautiful card as well. And the lightness, again, flying and lightness. So it's also, again, reminding us to stay light, stay beautiful, stay in that lover's path of understanding and humor and knowing that you have a choice here. Again, why get mad? You got a choice. We have choices. I think when, we tend to get upset when we feel stuck. But if we remember, hey, I have a choice in this, and sometimes people forget they have a choice. They have a choice. It doesn't mean that the choice is going to be the easier path. The road less traveled is a real thing, but it's also the road less traveled is also a very sweet and rewarding path to take. You know what I mean? So sometimes we have to say, you know what, I have a choice here and I don't like this one. It's not for me. This is not me. This is not for me. That comes up a lot. I think that came up as I was putting this together, and then this is not for me. And then when I experienced one of the cards actually said that. Okay, so don't be afraid to say, this is not for me in this season. Just don't be afraid to say, we have that courage, the courage of authenticity. We have to have that courage to be who we are and who we know we need to be and who we know being serves us in being good. All right. Being balanced and being able to bring forth that joy and feel that inner joy, right? You got to know what's for you and what's not for you. All right. How are our word, thoughts, and aura of communication impacting or hindering our soul? Creating more joy, beauty, and balance. Those were some of my notes. So that's a question that you can ask yourself. How are my words, thoughts, and aura of communication impacting or hindering my soul or my soul expression? Or how is it impacting or hindering me creating more joy, balance, or beauty in my own life? And we have to guard our thoughts and our hearts, right? And we guard our thoughts by, what am I thinking? What am I now speaking? What am I feeling? Because I feel it, because I think it, and then I speak it, and then it manifests. So it's so important to guard your thoughts, guard your heart. All right. The card also, because it's about communication, the card also is signaling writing and sounds. You know, communication doesn't just come in through the words, but our artistry. So writing and sounds, and again, the whole air quality, the whole air element of being light and enlightening as well. All right. It talks about wind blowing. And I'll pull the card up some more, even though it's right behind me. It talks about wind blowing and taking ownership of our bright ideas, right? Again, it's the year of ownership. So again, taking ownership of our bright ideas and what is the next idea blowing through the wind to me, and jumping on that next bright idea, right? So we have the feathers being a symbol of truth and rising. Can you sing more? Oh, they're my feathers. Truth and rising, and also being gentle and strong. Yes, it is. Yes, gentle strength. Yes, yes, yes. That has been such a theme since the eclipse energy came in. This blue, it reminds me of the gentleman, right? That being that soft strength, right? And that masculine energy, right? The new masculine, that gentleman who is able to be strong, but also soft, as well as in that feminine, to be strong, but also to be soft. So that gentle masculine or the gentleman. I think that's the essence of the word, to be the gentleman. In a little note in one of the groups I'm in this week, I said, ladies, we can be the perfect gentleman for ourselves. That gentleman, that perfect gentleman doesn't have to come out from outside of you. As a woman, you could be the perfect gentleman for your own feminine energy, right? Especially when we're in a healing circle. Or, because healing doesn't always come in kindly. Sometimes it's a healing crisis, but it really gets to the core. It stops us, and it really gets us to the core of where we need to be in order to make those pivotal changes to allow the next thing to come into our lives, right? So let's not forget about all of that. So we're on a new path of beauty. We have all of the love in the world and the love of the experiences of love to support and boost us in this beautiful quest. And we have the element of air, just helping us to have clear thoughts and communicate better, and to use our artistry too, and then I get that writing and sound, using our artistry too to create more beauty. You know what I mean? Yeah. Using our artistry and tapping into that divine mind to create with our hands, even though it's the wind, but it's the writing, and our speaking, the music, what are we singing? How are we toning? And what's the sound coming out of our bodies and our mouths? Is it the sound of joy? Is it the sound of balance? Is it the sound of gratitude? Is it the sound of harmony? Or is it the sound of disharmony and frustration and chaos and, madness, right? So using our artistry and our genius mind to create, helps to bring more beauty into it. All right. So then we're looking at what does it rest on? So what's boosting it? What's coming around us? And what is it resting on? And I'm gonna have so many favorites. When you get a new deck, it's like you get a lot of favorites. But some of the artwork is just so beautiful. So it's resting on the star, and the star is about our hopes, our dreams, and our inspiration. So it's saying, don't give up on anything, especially not your hopes and your dreams, right? We are going to rest all of this beauty on what we've been dreaming about, what we've been hoping for, and what we are inspired by. All right, let's just get this card. Let me see if I can get a full view. Can I do a full view? Yeah. And oh no, we can't see this one. Hold on. All right, let's do this one by itself. All right, let's do another one. Let's do one. I think this is it. Yeah, yeah, there she is. She's I love the card. All right, let's choose that one. Okay, so this is the star path, hope, inspiration, and dreams, right? And this is the Aquarius card. I think this is the Aquarius card here. Yes, I was a card above ahead of myself. This is the Aquarius card, but doesn't it have that feeling, because it has that dreamy lover's feeling of this, the Gemini, right? So similar energy. So the Aquarius card is here, the star path. So we're resting all of this beauty, this whole new path that the eclipse has opened up to us. It's resting on all that we've been asking for, all that we've been dreaming about, all that's been inspiring us, right? The age of Aquarius, right? So we got to really believe and trust that, hey, the work I've been doing it's paying off. The dreams I've been dreaming are here. The seeds I've been seeding are planted and they will bloom. What inspires me is important, and I need to make sure that I continue to be inspired. You know what I mean? To get to the next step, or just to be in this beautiful enjoy and manifest and weave everything I can out of this beautiful new opening and cycle and wheel and year, because we're still in April, the beginning of the astrological year. It really has just started. And I thought about something too. Oh, April is the fourth month, foundation, right? That 4-4 energy. We're setting down the new foundation, and it makes so much sense to set down the new foundation in April, right? 4 is the door. It's the opening of a new opportunity, of a new experience, right? So all of this Aquarius energy, the uniqueness, the views of our life, what's your unique view on life? And now allowing that to be a part of your beauty, the beauty way. The beauty way is your way. What have you been dreaming about? What do you want? What's your joy? Remember what makes you happy? What brings joy? What brings balance? So the beauty way is whatever you were dreaming up. and and this eclipse is saying, hey, it's here now. Go do it. Right? So it's uniqueness, the water bearer, Aquarius. Let's go into the Aquarius energy. Aquarius is the water bearer. It's a pouring of heavenly inspiration, moving our dreams into being. All right. So we were dreaming about it before the eclipse. Now is the time for it to manifest again. What were they fearing so much? Why did they want you to be so afraid? Again, we can't do a lot of things while we're afraid. Fear actually keeps you stagnant. So just be aware. Like, what did I say? When you see them showering you with fear, know that your codes are here. shut it out, shut it down, tap into the light. Okay. So know that, hey, if it wasn't working before, I actually have more potential and opportunity now than I did before. So don't give up on those dreams. Don't give up on those hopes. Keep on being inspired to be your best self. Again, it's a constant stream of connection. Hey, knowing that I am always connected. I am always connected to. And one thing I love about this card, I want to step out of the way so you can really see it. If you look at the top, she is pouring down from the stars into a cup. So she knows that she's connected to the stars, and she knows that she can use that energy from above her and create something in this earthly realm. It's just a beautiful, beautiful imagery. Can't see it, maybe I don't know. Beautiful, beautiful imagery right here. Sorry. Right on there. She's pouring from the stars into a cup, and it's also grounding into here. So she's connected, right? Always being connected. Also, she's the bridge, right? And to know that we are the bridges between as above and below. We all are the bridge, right? So it says using our energy to manifest our dreams, being clear about our dreams, how our own unique qualities are going to turn them into reality. So knowing that by me owning my intelligence, owning my authenticity, owning who I don't like, what I don't like, by me standing in my power, by me staying in this place of humor, knowing that I have a choice, knowing that I am intelligent, knowing that what makes me happy and joyous matters, knowing that what keeps me in balance is good for me. All of those things, knowing that allows me to create more beauty in my world, right? And knowing, and remember, what did the other card say? Knowing that this is the power. This is where you get your power from, all right? Sorting out what works for us and what doesn't. Test, sort out, and experiment. And here it is for you. Two most important words. I mean, I swear, you gotta be comfortable with saying, listen, I just knowing, hey, this is not for me, or this is for me. I know who feels it knows it, and I know it, and I've had to say it, and the more you say it, oh, just keep on saying it. And people get it. People get it. Because if you just say to somebody, listen, I get it, but that's not for me. And that's just not for me. And there's no argument with that. Because if you are secure within yourself and you're confident and you know it's not for you, then trust me, they'll know it's not for you too, just by you saying that. All right. So get your list. Know what's, and the thing is, you have to know that it's really not for anybody. The most important person to know what's not for you is you, right? Letting other people know, it comes, it's like, oh yeah, I gotta let you know that's not me. But it's about you knowing that list more than anybody else. That's for you. That list is for you. All right, because it will guide you. It will be your internal guide of where to go and where not to go, what to say, what not to say, how to be and how not to be, right? This card also reminds us to expect the shifts in attitudes, shifts in perspectives, shifts in people and situations. So again, the eclipse is going to come in and create some shifts. It has come in and it will create some shifts. And I've been saying it's going to, don't be focused so much on that day, but watch the ripple effects. And the ripple impacts might not suit everybody, but it will be for the collective good of everybody, right? So some of those ripple effects might have, might be a little Uranus like. We'll get to that. We'll get to that Uranus energy, a little shocking, right? And those some of those shifts might be shocking for some people, right? But it's all about personal growth, and it's all about us getting closer and closer and closer and bigger and bigger and bigger to our soul. Remember, this is the 2020 was the year of awakening, and we're in a decade of awakening, right? 10 years, 16 years, 20 years, awakening, right? And part of the awakening is becoming more of our soul, less of our, where's the lion? Ego. It's soul and sun, right? So you could be the sun or you could be the soul, right? And I would say the sun is more of the ego, but the soul is where we're really trying to get to. You know what I mean? That soul vision. So if your ego, and ego is not a bad thing, but ego should support your soul missions. And what happens is that sometimes we allow our ego to overshadow our soul mission and our soul purpose, or the voice of our soul, or our soul expression. So we don't really get that because the sun could be very glaring. And sometimes if you're too close to the sun, you can't see anything that's behind the sun, right? So yeah. Okay. So just remember, as we tap into our soul, we create more and more beauty, more and more love, more and more balance, more and more of this Aquarius energy, and knowing what is for us and what's not for us. What makes me happy, what brings me joy, what keeps me in balance, why I make the sacrifices I make. And the big picture of it is getting to where your soul wants you to get to. That soul beautiful experience. All right. And it says to connect with nature, right? This is again for the star path. Again, remember she's grounded, but she's also using the energy above her and connecting it all as a bridge, right? So it's a path of connecting with nature, clearing your mind to hear your inner being, positivity brought to you through the green worlds, which is the plant kingdom. And also remember, Archangel Raphael is that healing energy. Again, the green, the abundance, the prosperity, the nature, right? And also the heart, again, that heart energy, green, fourth chakra, number 4 again. So all of that symbolism and different disciplines, have different symbolism. But if you look at all of them, and a lot of them, like I do, you're trying to just understand the core of the message, no matter what symbology is being used. That's why I like to learn about different ones, because you realize they're all talking about the same thing. Yeah. And again, this is also talking about feeding our subconscious, reminding us of all we are and all we are linked and connected to. So just going through some of the symbols, the stars are for guidance, promise fulfilled. We have another bird in there. We have phoenix. And you see that phoenix symbology is in a lot of these cards, a lot of transformation. This eclipse is aiding and supporting and bringing in a lot of transformation. And I would say a lot of results from the transformations that we have been going through over the past 4 years. Aquarius energy brings in independence, as well as some shocking events. So, the age of Aquarius with the wars and the revolutions, it doesn't always come in a very peaceful, gentle basket thrown in by a stork. Some of it comes in through wars and turbulence and shocking events, right? So we have to realize and understand that this too is a part of us getting to the beauty way and us experiencing the beauty way. We do have to allow that death and that decay for things to rise out of it. Just like spring, we don't get to April without going through January and December and February, right? We just don't get there. We got to go through the winter months. We got to let things die. And then the moon energy, the moon symbolizes the family and again, cycles. They're coming into a new cycle, as well as the high priestess, right? The apple is in there, and the apple symbolizes love and knowledge, perfect, as well as the integration of elements and health, right? We have the cup, which is showing love and compassion, and we have water there, so all of that beautiful symbolism and all that beautiful energy, really, again, supporting the new path of beauty, right? Supported by love, helping us to communicate better, think better, communicate better, being positive, as well as saying, hey, why is this all happening? Because you asked for it. You've been dreaming about it. You're hoping for it. You're dreaming about it. And this is what inspires you. This was the intention. You guys have weaved this into the wheel of life, and now the eclipse is bringing it in. All right. Again, why did they want you to wear this? It's so beautiful. All right. And I think, was this the fifth one? 1, 2, 3, 4. There is one more. And this 10 cards, I wasn't sure if I was going to do all or just some. And because I think I've been at least on for about an hour now, and I really, really don't want this to be too long. So I'm going to split this into 2 videos. This is 1 to 5, and then we will pick up 6 to 10. All right. Yeah. All right. So the 5th one is what has gone before. And what I saw with that one is basically what has worked before, right? Especially with the cards that came out, with the card that came out. What has gone before? So again, there's nothing new under the sun, right? So this is not the first time we've been here, and the beauty way, or the way of beauty, has been presented to us, and we have that opportunity to take and claim that for ourselves collectively as humanity, as well as individually in our lives, right? To say, hey, I'm on a path of beauty now. I'm walking the beauty way. I see beauty in you. I see the beauty in me. I see the beauty in everything, right? And everyone, right? So what has worked? What has worked before? This beauty way. What has worked before? And the answer couldn't have been better. Taking a leap. Taking a leap of faith. You gotta come with faith. Go home if you don't have it. You gotta come with faith. Trust, believe, hope, faith, because you gotta respond, and it's not always gonna be seen. So we have to carry that faith with us, right? The leap of faith, and it's the Fool's card, and it's also number 11. So it's like, look at yourself, look in the mirror, right? What has worked for you before? What has worked for you before will work now. Let's get to the Fool's card. And this is good. After this one, I'm going to stop the taping and then do the second part as a second video. You guys can join me on that one. I think I have, hopefully, all right. All right. So we have the path of the Fool. It's the 11th path, right? And the Fool path is about a leap of faith, freedom, and trust. Like you can't go wrong with those ones, right? We have to trust. You have to know Yeah, and it's about, again, that air element too, right? So we have the air element helping us to think and to know that, hey, I can take this leap of faith. And we can trust that when I take the leap of faith, I'm going to land where I need to land. And that's really what the whole leap of faith is all about. I can take this leap into something that I don't have all the answers for, but I know I'm going to land someplace. And when I land, wherever I land, I'll be able to work it out from there. And the hummingbird comes to mind. I was just sitting outside, I think two days ago, the day I was getting into this, and I was talking to a friend, and the smallest little hummingbird just showed up right in front of me. And I was like, and it flew away. So yeah, that hummingbird is when you see the hummingbird again, is encouraging you to make that leap of faith and to embark on the new journeys of your life, right? And it doesn't, you don't have to always know, okay, I'm going to go left and right, and this is going to happen, and that's going to happen. That's not required. But what is required is to trust, take that leap, and know that, hey, I'm going to land, and it's going to be okay. Actually, it's going to be better than I expected. It's actually the best perspective to have when you take those leaps of faith. Where I land is going to be better than I even thought. How about that? You can't lose with that one, right? All right. So, what is it we want to manifest as we walk this beauty path, as this new path and quest has been open to us, opportunity? We got to ask ourselves, well, hold on now. What is it that I really want? And that is so important to ask yourself. Don't let nobody tell you. Make sure you know. Now, people can add to it, but make sure you know what you want, right? So, what is it that we want to manifest? And then taking that next step. Because also sometimes we don't have to have all of the steps laid out in front of us. Trust me, as an entrepreneur, I know. But it's so, so, so important when you can just take that next step and say, you know what? I know I have to do steps 10 through 20, but you know what? Today, let me just do 11. Let me just jump onto step number 11. And sometimes, most of the time, that is sufficient, right? Because we can't do everything all at once, but we can do something every single day. Trust, right? So taking that leap. And here is when we really start, or the spirit really starts bringing in this Uranus energy. And we are currently, I think, if don't get me, I might be wrong, but I think we are in a Uranus Jupiter conjunction in Aries. So this is like so divine timing alignment. All right. This is the time where you take those leaps and you take those jumps, because Jupiter is all about expansion, right? And that, again, that Sagittarius, explorer, traveler, ideology. So, again, what you've been thinking about, where you want to go, what do you want to manifest, what matters to you, what's not for you, that's what's your ideology. Take a leap, take a leap. It's time, right? So the eclipse is really ushering in all of this supportive energy for beauty, love, manifestation of your dreams, hopes, um, everything. I mean, it's like too good to be true, right? But it is. It's better than that bullshit they trying to sell you about fair. Oh, I'm so sick of it. All right. So, taking a leap is about spiritual energy in a physical, earthly world, knowing that you are a spiritual being and just saying, you know what? I gotta have an earthly experience, man. I know I'm spirit, but I'm here on earth. I'm gonna take a leap, man. You know what I mean? It's our divine nature, really calling out our divine nature and saying, you know what, I am divine or supernatural. Because for me, divine is like, okay, I'm divine. I transmute, I transform, I change, right? But it's supernatural, which they don't like to give humans. I'm more like, you know what, when I'm taking that leap, I know I'm supernatural. I am of spirit and humanity. I am beyond. You know what I mean? So I can do this. I'm just not stuck in a physicality. I am spirited matter, supernatural. I'm celestial. I'm grounded. All of that stuff, and not just flesh. Because flesh is flesh. If flesh don't have no spirit, it's dead. You know what I'm saying? So we really have to know that I am of spirit. And spirit is of galaxies and cosmos and planets and elements, right? So because that too is within me, I could tap into that and I could fly. Right? I can harness, taking that leap, knowing that I can be supported by my harness, right? I can fly, I can take this jump, and this harness will support this leap that I'm doing, the bungee jump. And I was watching something the other day, and they were talking about, taking that leap and the bungee jumping, or it might have been in the deck. I don't know. Like I said, I go to many places in short amounts of spaces and times. And it was like knowing that you can take the leap and be supported by that harness. And the harness is that energy that you have been. You are the harness, right? All that you're grounded with and grounded in, right? So again, the symbol of Uranus, uniqueness, surprises. The phoenix is in there. The sun. Let me step out so y'all can see. The phoenix, the sun, the feathers. I saw like the necklace and the purse, like all of them, like just saying like, you know what, I'm going. And y'all coming with me or not? But they're coming, right? So the jewels are coming with him. The bag is coming with him. The thing, and I'm sure he's losing some stuff. You see, he's losing some stuff down there, but a lot is coming with him. The hat is off, the feather, again, it's his freedom, it's his independence, it's saying, I'm just gonna go with it. But he's protected, he's in the light, the green is abundant. So there's something gonna grow from that. He's enlightened and in that golden or yellow fleece, you know what I'm saying? So the dog is there with loyalty, again, loyalty as well as protection, unconditional love. I think there's an eagle in the picture too. Yep, there it is. There's that eagle. So it has that long-term vision. It's not looking at, okay, what's happening now in my life. It's having that long-term vision. And I'm just seeing at the bottom, we have this energy at the bottom next to the rocks in the center. So this is a vortex of energy. Something's being created in that moment right there too, right? By him taking that leap, right there, here. By him taking that leap, there's energy being created there. All right. So the hawk is a symbol of clairvoyance, spiritual awareness as well. So maybe that's a hawk, not an eagle. It might be a hawk or eagle, I'm not sure. And then the wand, which is creativity, life force, and fire. So transmutation, transformation is taking place. All right, guys, listen, I got more to say. The spread is, we just got through 1 through 5. Thank you so much. I enjoy doing this. Sometimes it takes me a while to get into it, but I got into the groove. I do not want this to be too long, but those who stayed with me, thank you so much. And again, this was 1 through 5. So we know it's the beauty way. No, 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 it's the beauty way. We are in a season and cycle of beauty. It's if you don't want it, okay, but don't be in it then. All right. But if you want it, it's there. It's there for you to work with, weave with, and rest with. Okay. And then I'll do the next video, and the next video is going to look at what's likely to happen, how I see it, how you see it, the hopes and the fears, and the final outcome. And you want to stay to get that info. All right. Thank you for joining me. My name is Akita Akari Aurora. This is Spirit Scribes. This was the lovely Tree of Life Oracle deck. And today we did a Celtic cross. And we got through 1 through 5. Stay tuned for 6 through 10. Thank you so much. Bye. Take those leaps.